a Zimbabwean. You know, I'm expecting investigative journalists to do the job. Is he really a Zimbabwean? There's a reason why I'm asking that question, because the statement that one of the war veteran said yesterday is one of the reasons why I'm posing this question to you. But anyway, we need to listen to this statement that was spoken by one of war veterans yesterday. They were having a meeting, introducing the CDF. Take a listen, please. I know it is in Ndebele, but don't worry, I'll explain.
Citigo, and we are not going to stop. We are going ahead. Aluta continua. Sithi kuwe mina ngakwa mkhwenyana wami akuyekele ukwenza into zokuganga lokho sukwenza ikuganga usuganga ke kadesi ayisikho sakuyele empini ungazi wasitshengisa ukuthi wena usempini ukuthi uthi wawuvela uganga ngoba nxa ungaganga awusozwenza ukuganga kadesi undala sungaka sungumuntu omdala uzinika ukuthi wena ufuna ukuthi ubuse ukweminyaka engu2 sakunika thina 5 years yekela i5 years wena le iphele ubuye kithi nxa sikunika sizakunika ungaziniki kuthiwa ukuzinika ikutshontsha ngesindebele yekela ukuthi usebenzise iparliament ukuthi litshontshe lawe yekela ukutshontsha zinike ithuba lokuthi ucabange njengomuntu opheleleyo ukuba ngupresident welizwe akutsho ukuthi sesikunike amandla ongalawo.
Okay, I don't know if I'm correct here, because I know Mukwenyana is more like my son-in-law. Please confirm in the comment section. I'd like to hear your thoughts. All right, guys, welcome to Rumbi Uncensored. It's a good afternoon. Happy weekend to everyone. Hope you are well. You saw the launch of the CDF, and I thought it's important for me to actually help some of the people who may not understand the moves or the modus operandi of most of these criminals. It's very important. Yeah, well, it's son-in-law. Thank you. So, yeah. All right. Someone has confirmed I'm right, actually. I thought Devel is Zulu maybe, but yeah, they're very close. Anyway, we are looking at Tendai Biti and the launch of the CDF. I also want you to know, it's a good news actually, that Jonathan Moyo is surrounded. The whole dubious court case is crashing right in front of our eyes. I'm excited. I'm excited to see men and women who spend tirelessly to disturb the peace of Zimbabweans have to face the consequences of their choice. Now, the other question is, do you think Jonathan Moyo, Kasukuwere and some of their companies will be able to come back to Zim? Because I must tell you that there's been a lot going on social media. I think the story of Kasukuwere, I have to deal with it independently. I don't want to mix this, because the launch of CDF is important. Also, again, knowing that Jonathan Moyo's plan is falling apart, it is also very important. So, Zimbabweans, comment respectively. We're going to have a good conversation this afternoon. I'm excited to actually welcome you here on the show. It's exciting. I know it has been a minute for me just doing these shows. There's been a lot going on in the background, but God is good. Here we are. Life is good. Guys, I know some of you, it may be a first time to pass through this channel. I want to say you're welcome. But to my regulars, don't forget, thumbs up the video, share with others. It's important. We are heading towards the most interesting time. This is more like a game of chess. A game of chess, but at the end of it all, Emmerson Mnangagwa will be seen packing. That's all that I can say, because his games are just too much. That's why I posed the question, is he really a Zimbabwean? Because if someone has to get to a point where they're calling you my son-in-law, can you see your actions are bad? My son-in-law means you're my son. I don't understand that why he doesn't even have, that at least an iota of conscience to say, my actions are just wild. This man is one of the most disrespectful I've never met, men that I've never met. I think he really went through a lot during his childhood that he needs to deal with, because he is like an embodiment of hated people. Zimbabweans have never known peace. Pre-independence, post-independence, even today. They've never known peace. And if you look and research deeper, you'll see most of our challenges that we face were engineered by Emmerson Mnangagwa. And he's stopping at nothing to continue making Zimbabweans suffer. That makes me pause, is he really a Zimbabwean? Because his character is unlike Zimbabwean. We grew up being so united, but for some reason, he seems like he's very much disconnected to Ubuntu, like Wunuwedu as a people. Again, is he really a Zimbabwean? I listened to one of his sister. She said a lot, but no, the story doesn't really align. There's a lot of inconsistency there. Someone left to Zimbabwe, went to Zambia, went to China, went to work and bought him a dress, went to Tanzania, and then come back to Zim, got arrested, and then he was underage. Is he really Zimbabwean? Because the guys that are doing all these shenanigans, some of them are people alleging that they're actually not Zimbabweans, they're Zambians. You know, there's also a Zambian thing with him. But like I said, it's a story of another day. But his actions are worrisome. Are really worrisome. Anyway, Jonathan Moyo is in trouble right now as we speak on social media because of his actions. But I think Tendai Biti and the launch of CDF is quite very important, because I thought I need to actually inform most of our people to know how the regime operates. Because I know some of you don't know. You don't know. And you need to be informed. Guys, now that this war CDF has been introduced, I know there's going to be a lot of meetings across different countries, like you heard from Tendai Biti, and you're going to hear more just shortly. Please don't just meet anybody. Don't. Because they've already launched their dogs, I can tell you. I know they've launched their dogs. I know that very well. And so that they can come and cause trouble. Some of you will be arrested, some of you can be killed. So please be wise, be sober, be vigilant. Do not just meet people. I think most of these meetings should be done online, in my opinion. Do it via Zoom. People have IDs and come to the meeting. Even if they come to the meeting, who cares? But I know they are going to unleash their dogs to also be at the forefront, you know, like they're organizing. But the truth is they'll be collecting information, taking it back to the regime and say, this is what they are planning. This, again, these are Zimbabweans. I don't know what they've done for them to actually work so hard to destroy our country. But Jonathan Moyo and his plan, which people are accusing that it is with him and Kasukuwere and so forth, I think this story is not even important. I need to start with Tendai Biti and or. We can look at Jonathan Moyo later on. Avana Basama. Right now, they'll be just a waste of my airtime. Okay, let's listen to Tendai Biti and what he said, because I think it's very, very important. There's quite a number of people who spoke during the launch, but the Tendai Biti one is quite important for us to pay attention, because he actually shed more light on why this CDF it is so important. What's happening here? My bad, please bear with me. I'm just trying to okay, there we go. All right, so let's take a listen to Tendai Biti, please.
So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is with heavy hearts that we sit this afternoon to formally launch the CDF and our constitution. As all of you know, we were supposed to have this launch on Saturday at the Women's Bureau, but the police stopped us. We filed an appeal in the magistrate court, but that appeal could not be set down. So we agreed that we would launch today at a big alternative venue in Harare, on the outskirts of Harare. But before we could move to that venue, the police moved and barricaded the law firm from which I operate from. They beat up an individual there, pardon, Chipangura. They harassed our members there, including our Deputy Secretary General. But we said we have to do this. So we've come here at this secret location. Few as we are, many of our people are not here. Many of our members are not here. You don't see a single lady here because we decided to protect them against the thugs that were following us. We were pursued from our offices and stopped along Cock Road. And when we indicated that we were not going to get out of our car, but go straight to the police general headquarters, PGHQ,
They then drove away. These were thugs, violent thugs, murderous thugs, driving a grey Toyota Fortuner. So it's a miracle that we are here, and we thank the Lord that we are able to do this work, which I have no doubt in my mind is the Lord's work, protecting what is good over what is evil, protecting light over darkness, protecting the future over a past that is contested, a past that is vicious, a past that is cost thousands and thousands of lives. Present here are important people, representative of freedom fighters, war veterans, long-standing activists in our struggle. Vamangwira came join this struggle before he had hair on his head. Now Amurume Mkuru, Baba Chitando, and everyone else, but there are thousands that are here and thousands that are in the diaspora. The constitution that we are here to launch is a democratic constitution that makes it clear that the CDF is not a political party. This document in Article 4 makes it clear that we are not a political party, we are a civic society. It makes it clear that we are bound by certain values, values of equality, values of respect, values of accountability. We are not going to create a superhuman. We are not going to pursue agendas of personality and big men syndromes. This constitution celebrates that we are all equal and we are all accountable to each other. This constitution celebrates the values that bound us. This constitution celebrates a vision that we have for our country. And that vision of is a peaceful, just, democratic, transparent, devolved, green Zimbabwe. That is the mission, that is the vision we have. This constitution celebrates a vision and a mission. This constitution celebrates objects. What are the objectives of the CDF? The objectives are that we will defend the 2013 constitution as it stood in its original form. The objectives are that we will advance the principles of constitutionalism and the rule of law that are in that constitution. That this constitution celebrates the fact that we will move to advance further rights that are in that constitution. This constitution also says the CDF will work with other like-minded bodies and organizations to form a grand coalition against constitutional manipulation and constitutional vandalization. This constitution pushes vehemently for a right of the diaspora to vote in Zimbabwe as protected by Section 67 of the Constitution. This Constitution of the CDF pushes and celebrates the idea of devolution and decentralization in our country. This Constitution celebrates and pushes the idea of gender equality, women's presence in our midst. I've explained why you don't have women here, but I will announce some of the names we have of our leadership. You will see the respect we are paying to women. This constitution of the CDF celebrates the right of our youth, who are 65% of our people. So we've got two different youth departments in terms of this constitution. We have the students movement, whose coordinator is going to be Nation Kotlo, that will push our presence, the presence of constitutionalism in universities and tertiary institutions. Then we have got a youth department that the leaders were supposed to be here, and then we have a gender a youth wing that will also be led by a young woman that will advance the cause of constitutionalism in our country. We firmly believe that if Zimbabwe is to be protected, it will be protected by its young people, but it will not be protected by young people who are drunk on drugs. It will be protected by young people who are drunk on constitutionalism and the values of freedom that are celebrated in Chapter 4 of the Zimbabwean Constitution, also in this Constitution of the CDF. The structures of the CDF as defined in this Constitution include a national conference that will be held every 5 years. That is the highest policy-making body of our organization. In between the national conference will be a general council. The general council is the highest policy-making body in between the conferences. And then there will be a management committee. The management committee will consist of the convener.
I don't really want to focus more on the structures of the CDF, which is, I think for me, is the launch, and also it's about Zimbabwe in general, the diaspora and so forth. But like I said earlier on, guys, please, right now, I know right now as we speak, they are busy unleashing their dogs, because one of the things that they've always been focusing on is to make sure they infiltrate anything that is Zimbabweans are trying to plan. Whatever it is that we are planning, then the regime will send their thugs, or criminals will send their criminals to just cause chaos. So be very careful. Don't just meet people. If you're really active in all these CDF thing, I'm not part of this whole thing. Guys, I know that I'm a Zimbabwean. I would really support, but I'm not like part of the structures and so forth. But if you are, please do not eat food from the street. Do not meet people for drink. Don't do it. Listen to me. Don't meet people to have drinks. Don't meet people just for meetings, calling you and so forth. Don't entertain my cause. Oh, I want to also to join, yada, 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 yada. Don't. They are being sent to make sure that you guys don't even get to see this thing succeeding. We are dealing with criminals that have been there for decades. Structures were built for many years, meaning that so many people you see on the street are literally offering themselves as sacrifice to work for the regime because there are no jobs. I remember I asked the comrade Geza, may he so rest in peace. I asked him, I was like, tell me something. Why is it Zimbabweans are obsessed with government jobs? Why are they so obsessed? He said to me, they just want to steal. There are no jobs. So that is the only place they will go and fight. I'm like, imagine if they would have spent their time creating jobs for the past 40-something years. You guys wouldn't be fighting to be in the government today. So honestly, these guys know, I'm Zimbabwe. And they also know that if I can be promised a little bit of money, I'm making money now. It's poverty that is literally driving so many of our people to commit crimes under the guise of protecting the regime. There's no need, the regime don't need anyone to protect it. It has to just deliver. And, as per the stipulated time frame, and then leave and allow others to serve. So please, I repeat, please, don't meet people if you are part of these coordinators. Don't eat or drink. If you're drinking, it's actually a sacrifice. Let me tell you, it is a sacrifice. For those who don't know, guys, we've sacrificed our lives for the freedom of our people. It's not a joke. We said one day you will know how much sacrifice we are making right now. So don't play games. Criminals, and that's why I'm so angry with most of the people who have worked in the government. Since Mugabe time, I'm very upset with Mugabe. He was not supposed to allow criminals to literally creating mass syndicates to a point where of the mess that they've destroyed in our country today. I can't stand Mugabe. I can't stand him. Mnangagwa, I don't even want to discuss him. That's why I've always been saying, I don't think he's a Zimbabwean. One day we'll know the truth. He's not a Zimbabwean. A Zimbabwean cannot behave the way Mnangagwa behaved. We may just want to accept them because, guys, remember, there are so many people who have played a lot with the Home Affairs. I can never forget one of my auntie years back. She told me she was a very much connected person. I was young, was a teenager. She told me two things. She was very connected to most of these big guys. And there was a time they actually helped you to reduce her age. Because she was very much good looking, but then her age were, and then she had to reduce her. I'm just telling you one thing that I know, okay? So that only is one can show you, and the dubious, degrees that we've witnessed, showing you that these people are capable of anything. Even some people who are not Zimbabweans were just enrolled and become Zimbabweans. Because hakuna Zimbabweans akadai, man. No, hakuna Zimbabweans akadai. Ziyambi. What does that mean? Ziyambi. Kazembe. What does that mean? Is that Shona? Please help me if you know what that means. It makes me question a lot of things. Mnangagwa, and the Mnangagwa is got an MN. What does that mean? I'm very much worried now and concerned that these guys have got a lot. One day we will know truth. One day we will know truth. Hakuna Zimbabweans akadai. Okay, and hakuna nyika yakadai. It's just hakuna Zimbabweans akadai. Guys, this war CDF, the constitution, is for all of us Zimbabweans. But I saw someone someone wrote a comment like a few minutes ago and said, people are waiting for Chamisa to comment. Let me say this, Zimbabweans, that is your problem. You put a person over the country. You are exalting a person over the country. Zimbabwe is bigger than Chamisa. It's bigger than Chiwenga. It's bigger than any politician who is and who ever come. It's bigger than Mnangagwa. That's why we want him to go. Because the guy has completely failed our people. And he does not have the plan. Mnangagwa dines with criminals. So he's a waste of time. So Zimbabwe is bigger than anybody. And this is why I love the fact that Tendai was very clear and said, no one should be seen as a demigod. We are all equal. Which includes Mnangagwa and I, we are equal. Just because he's sitting in the office of the president doesn't make him a demigod of the country. In fact, we expect him to honor our laws more than any other person. He's not a demigod, neither his children. I think I've always been saying that Mnangagwa's kids are like any other kid. We need to see Zimbabwe as it is, not my illusions. We are being sold my illusions, my criminals, so that we look at these guys like they are so special. There's nothing special about them. They are simply human beings like us. Because this will shock you. There's literally fighting within the Triple C now. I saw the reports like a few minutes ago on Twitter. Zimbabweans, if we are not smart, we are going to be played over and over and over by criminals. Let's put Zimbabwe first. There are reports as we speak that their proposed constitutional amendments divide ex-Triple C allies. Nana Chibaya, they are fighting Nana Timba. Fighting because some don't want to support the constitution because they're saying the ZANU-PF thing. Some says they want to support Triple C. That's one of the reasons why I don't want to get involved in all these politics, because I've studied Zimbabwean politics. I noticed that no, the people are not yet mature to actually be to be politicians. They are fighting for power more than fighting for a decent society. There's a difference. So I'm going to read for you. I'm going to read for you to actually understand what I'm saying here. So they're saying a simmering power struggle within the opposition has come into the open after a message by Amos Chibaya urged the supporters aligned to opposition leader Nelson Chamisa to exit a WhatsApp platform convened by former ally Jameson Timber, escalating tensions within the opposition. The message circulated among opposition figures who claimed to be aligned to Chamisa ordered them to leave the Defend the Constitution platform, a grouping established by Timber to coordinate opposition against the proposed constitutional amendment, Bill number 3. The bill, sorry, my bad. So the bill proposes sweeping amendments to the Constitution, of which we know. But I think what I needed you guys to know is there already fights. But we all know that, Jameson Timber, right, when Chamisa exited the party, remember, Jameson Pinda and most of these guys kept on actually calling out Chamisa and say, we are aligning with him. We are for President Chamisa. But now it seems like Chamisa's doing his things and these guys are just on their own. Now they are saying we need to defend the Constitution with others to protect our country. No, now it's a problem. So guys, listen, if you're Zimbabwean and you really want to see this country work, then you better have to choose between following the chaos of all these politicians who are after power, or you are going to concentrate on the country and its legacy. Because if you continue following individuals, that's where the personality politics come through. And I must say this, some people think it is a joke. It's not sponsored. We need to put the country Zimbabwe first before any man ever come. What if Chamisa wakes up tomorrow and be a president, then he becomes worse than Mnangagwa? So you need to shape up a society that respects itself before the person. If we do not do that, there will be a heavy price to pay for generations. It's going to continue, guys. It's going to continue. Because imagine any Zimbabwean who says, I don't want to defend the constitution because it is a ZANU-PF thing. How can the constitution of Zimbabwe be a ZANU-PF thing? Guys, all the time, the criminals in Zimbabwe. Kuku divide all the time. Guys, we cannot defeat these criminals if we keep on dividing ourselves because of stupid political nonsense. We need to put Zimbabwe first before any politicians. In fact, my politicians are my demigod because we are the ones that are propelling them. Mnangagwa is a demigod in ZANU-PF. He's not a demigod, he's just a human being. The same thing you did with Mugabe. But overnight, Mugabe was a nobody. We are not also taking Mnangagwa as a demigod. We don't want this kind of politics. We want a man to be a human being so that they can respect citizens. And it's always been caused by bootlickers who surround most of these politicians. Bootlickers are a problem in our country. I must tell you that once you stop bootlicking, you're always being considered an enemy. But guys, we cannot build Zimbabwe by bootlicking. I don't subscribe to bootlicking. I'll never bootlick nobody. I subscribe to respect. Because bootlickers are deceivers. Because once the power moves to this person, they also shift with that person. It's always about benefiting. What am I getting? Let's change the way we see the world. Look, these fights are stupid in my opinion. Chibaya needs to stop this. Guys, unite if you want Zimbabwe to work. Otherwise, I'm going to pin my offices. Because if you are really paying attention right now, you can see there's a shift in Zimbabwe today. If you are paying attention, there's a shift of leadership. That all this bootlicking nonsense toxicity will not be tolerated in the next administration. The country moves forward. Trust me, Zimbabwe's got a lot of qualified people who are even better than those that are around within the political space that can take the country and move it forward, and we're good to go. Do you think we're going to sit and see our children being drugged by criminals? Do you think we are going to sit seeing our country being looted dry? Do you think we are going to keep on seeing Zimbabwe die because so and so want to be at the front? No, we're not buying that. We are defending this country, even the generations to come. Some of them took a lot of money during the Gaza time when the code of, that was the protests. Some took a lot of money and they just disappeared. When are we going to realize that we are losing more than us coming together and say, Zimbabwe, come first? It comes first and these people. There must be a way that we need to play our politics. I don't subscribe to these fights. But I want you to know that they are being engineered by criminals. Because money is playing a part in our country today. I'm not saying these people may have taken money, but I want you to know that in some of these groups, you are heavily infiltrated by criminals. That's why money is changing hands today. Don't get involved in fights. Get involved in protecting the constitution of Zimbabwe, in making sure Mnangagwa lives. That there won't be no kingdom in our country. There won't be no dynasty in our country. There will never be no forcing fucking a leader in there for his benefit. We won't entertain that. We'll choose our own leaders and we'll do it right. And at least building a foundation that will speak to generations to come. Useless fights. I don't get involved in that. Anyway, this is for our own good because Jonathan Moyo is completely done. He's being humiliated. His plans to make sure that he caused chaos in Zimbabwe to the benefit of Tagwirei, because people are alleging that he's working for Tagwirei and also working together with Kasukuwere. Kasukuwere has been training for the past 2-3 days. Honestly, I even said to myself, I don't know why did I even call out that was in 2023 that you guys can also think he may be some, because I didn't know him. I think people said to me that I've said this and I repeat again today. I only started following Zimbabwean politics in 2023. I didn't know these people. And in fact, even when I was in school in Zimbabwe, I didn't know who was the minister of whatever. You guys know how Zimbabwe is being run. Most of these people within the political space are acting like gods. So we grew up not knowing who was the minister of what or was doing what. We only knew that, no, if you talk about politics, you're going to be thrown in acid. We knew violence. I mean, I was born in 1983, and there was already violence against our people in Mateveleland. Zimbabwe has been so violent, toxic for the past decades. So I never wanted to I wasn't. But until I was like, no, man, something must be wrong in this country. And I spoke to my other mama, in Zimbabwe, and I said to her, Mama, there's something not right here. Can't I meet the president? Can I talk to him? My mom was like, I remember she laughed. She said, my child, you'll be killed. These were the words of my mom. I was like, killed for what? She goes, no, they can't meet people, these guys. I said, what do you mean? They cannot meet people. And I remember talking to my other friend last week, and I told her the story. She was like, you know what, Rumbi? Mnangagwa wants to meet people. You was going to meet you, but the question was, were you going to come out safe? Is this a country that we want to be part of? That citizens are afraid to discuss about their own country? To actually talk to a president, he's like a demigod. He's untouchable. If you see the security, the kind of madness that's going on in Zimbabwe is shocking. I've never seen that. People are crazy. They're wild. Men are just acting like they're crazy. Some of these men who are guarding Mnangagwa, they're just running around like crazy. People are like, calm down. Shh, he's just a human being, like anyone else. There's nothing fancy about him. He simply happened to be the president of Zimbabwe, but he's not better than any other person. He eats food like everyone else. Mazondo, he goes to the bathroom like everyone else. There's nothing fancy about Mnangagwa. He's simply a human being. Don't treat him like God. He's not a God. He's just a human being. It's us who are building a very toxic culture. I don't do that. I respect him, but I can't worship him. There's a difference. We're creating a very toxic culture by the way we treat politicians. No. And most of them are dunderheads. You can hear when they open their mouth and they speak. They don't even know what they're talking about. Did you guys listen to what Tinuma Chagere said last time? That you can't get a job if you don't go to the youth, whatever you're calling it. But his children has never gone there. Mnangagwa's kids have never gone to the youth service. But you want to tell you that you should take your children there. That's the culture we need to destroy. Our people deserve to eat good food, deserve to live in good houses, deserve clean water, deserve electricity, deserve to drive on good roads, deserve to be respected, deserve to be loved, not terrorized left, right, and center. That is not life. Zimbabweans are on survival mode 24/7 because they're dealing with criminals. It has to stop. It has to change. That's why we're saying let's defend our constitution. Let's work together to make sure the country works for everybody. Not for a clique, for everybody. I'm glad that Jonathan Moyo's plan is falling apart. And the question is, will he be able to come back to Zim? Considering that now they're after Chiwenga. And it's very clear that Chiwenga will succeed in Mnangagwa. This is not even are we going to discuss about it? It's very clear. This plan, Tagwirei, people are just taking the money. Tagwirei will not even going to make it. He's already dead as a dodo. Tagwirei will not make it. The money he's using, which is our hard-earned money, he's trying to play all these dirty games. It's a finished game. Okay, who else is trying to fight? Who else is fighting to have a place? Mnangagwa's 2030 is dead like a dodo. It will not see the light of day. That I can guarantee you. Without it will not see the light of day. Hear it from me. Okay. Now, so the only person we know who will be able to succeed in Mnangagwa is Chiwenga. And here's the thing. That's why we need to make sure with Chiwenga, like I say, these politics, the matakananais, we don't want it in our country anymore. We do not want this. Sir, matakananai taneta now. We want reforms. We want to talk about electoral reforms. Proper guys, proper company, proper organizations or institutions that will be able to run our elections in a dignified way. You see why I was laughing about the minister, the deputy minister in the president's office in South Africa who said Zimbabwe needs to deal with its own issues. And I said to you, I agree with them. We don't need anybody to come in and tell us how we should behave. We are like a dysfunctional relationship. You know when a husband and a wife fights all the time? You know, dysfunctional relationship? We are like, our country operates like a dysfunctional relationship. So no matter how many people comes to this family and tell you this man to behave or this wife to behave, let me tell you, it will take the work of the husband or the wife for that marriage to work. No one will help a dysfunctional relationship. The two people need to sit down and see why are they failing to do something, and they correct themselves until they align and move forward. That's where Zimbabwe is. We don't need any person to come in and help us. We have the answers. We need to look at each other right in the eyes and say, this country is going to work. And then we sit around the table and have solutions. Once we are done with criminals, when criminals are behind bars, Zimbabwe have solutions. It will never work as long as criminals are roaming around our streets the way they are today, splashing money like that. I was shocked to see a 25 million launch in football, but we don't have medication in our hospital. What about the money they spend, almost 300 something million, if I'm not mistaken? They spend on buying those stupid air ambulances without having pilots to operate them. Show me. They're just in to take the money. But if we continue fighting, we are propelling criminals. So we are in a season where we have to do away with our differences and say, listen, I know I may not like you, but for the sake of this country, let's hold hands. It's not a political party. It is defending the constitution of a country. The constitution is Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is the constitution. We should never allow Mnangagwa and his gangs to decide how the country moves. We should never. Zimbabwe can only work when we speak truth to power, not batter-batting and be trying to entertain nonsense. No, we need to hold each other's hands and say, not here, sir. And when I tell Mnangagwa, I'm like, sir, with all respect for you, you cannot continue destroying our country under our watch. You cannot continue allowing gangs to drag our children. These kids are the future of tomorrow. These kids are Zimbabwe. We cannot continue seeing our people dying in hospitals because the hospitals are a death trap. I mean, you saw teachers dancing, celebrating blankets. And I must also tell you that those are not actually blankets. Those are donations they get from China. I'm talking about the worst grade of blankets, because the blankets are in grades. The worst grade that comes from China as donations is what they are giving you. You are celebrating them. And yet you should be able to get in a shop and buy top class quality blanket and go home and enjoy your life. Today we don't have proper roads. I remember talking to my other mama. She was like, Daddy comes home here. Where is supposed to drive 15 minutes? He gets home after 1 hour. No, guys, cannot continue. Imagine if I'm married to my man, my husband comes home, he's supposed to drive 15 minutes, gets home after an hour. And he's supposed to get home and rest and then prepare for tomorrow. Sit down and relax and talk to the children or talk to me. Yo, no. We need to leave, yo. The time of entertaining nonsense is past now. You wakes up tomorrow and go to work. Guys, I've seen it in Zimbabwe. People wakes up around 5 a.m. and they are stuck. The road isn't moving because the roads are so narrow like this. It has to stop. But we, the Zimbabwean people, can stop it. It's not an issue now. No. There's nothing to be afraid of. You just need to be careful. Don't be afraid of these people. Be careful. I've always been saying, if you want, you're going to have to... Listen, if you're a Christian, you don't read the Bible just for reading. Hear me out. You read the Bible to be empowered to face evil. So it's not that you read the Bible, not just going to read 2 scriptures today and go to you're great and I go to sleep. No. If you're a Christian, you get empowered when you read the Bible. You get to see how other people were fighting wicked regimes. But Daniel were politicians. Esther, a young girl, a teenager, stopped the genocide of the Jews by just calling God for divine help. So you're really not just going to go to church to go in and sit and be crying to the Lord and crying because a criminal is abusing you, because now he has unleashed all his criminals in most of these churches, fake prophets, to pacify you so that you think that you're going to be happy when you get to heaven. Sweetheart, the Bible already said the heaven should come down here. The heaven should come down. Guys, we can't be played any longer by criminals. We are just simply being played every day, in and out, in the churches. Taking his quick bags. Ukamva not you are too busy ukupa mari, so you keep quiet. Listen, takaziramba maris. I'm telling you facts. We refused this man twice. They came to me. I was like, nope. The country, Zimbabwe, these people come first. Because I'm not going to allow you to save a criminal. That will be the end of me. We are not going to continue serving criminals. We are going to put our country first and hold it. Guys, I want money. Listen, I'm telling you facts. I need money. In fact, I need it like yesterday. But one thing I've learned in life is once you serve a criminal, you are a slave to those criminals. You become a slave. You lose yourself. You lose your purpose. You lose your character. And they destroy you. Young people, be warned. If you serve criminals, there'll be a price to pay. I think you've seen some people being killed. Because I think we are joking when we are advising you. Stop serving criminals. Put the country first. Let's work together to make sure that at least we protect our country and future generations. We cannot allow these people to continue. Our people are suffering. And there must be a way out of this mess. All right. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section. Hope I just give a bit of my saying we can do this together. Don't forget thumbs up the video, share with others. I'm coming back as we'll be talking about Kasukuwere, who is trending for the wrong reasons. Actually, I curse the day I actually thought he was serious. Because what I'm seeing on social media, if your hands are dating my brother, if they've got blood on your hands, what I'll suggest that you do, go and find God first. And ask for forgiveness and find yourself and leave this politics alone. Because the Zimbabwe we're heading towards, it's not going to entertain people who use any machinations to get to the front. We are tired of seeing our people being killed for absolutely nothing. We are sick and tired of liars and deceivers, people who are always planting seeds of toxicity. We are not going to entertain it. We want our country to move forward. Ideas on the table. Toxic men and women, we are going to block them with everything and every ounce of energy in us for Zimbabwe to move forward. I love you guys. Bless you and bless Zimbabwe. Bye for now.